wife. You're a psychiatrist, and you're author of a theory. Here's what she's saying. First of all, white people are dying out. Into the next century, everybody on Earth may be of color. And we're scared about it. Already we're a minority. Did you know that? I'll guess 25% of us are white, maybe less than that. And that's the reason we're racist. We're not only afraid of dying out, but we're also jealous because we have no color. You're laughing. How come we spend so much time in the sun trying to get brown? Can't make a baby of color. And that's the reason for racism and lynching. And if how do you explain? Do you believe we're racist? No, we're not racist. Yes, we are racist. What is this, an accident that all the cities are becoming blacker and blacker while the outer reaches of major metropolitan whiter and whiter? That's an accident? Fuck. When you get on an elevator and you're the only white person on the elevator, how do you feel? What'd she say? What'd she say? Frightened, she said? Oh, she's scared of elevators. Okay, here we go. Frances Cress Welsing, MD. You are a Washington, D.C.-based psychiatrist, and you're author of the Cress, your middle name, we should say, theory of color confrontation and racism. You call racism white supremacy. To be sure, a provocative and controversial theory on skin color and oppression. Well, I'm ready. So is this mostly but not exclusively white audience. Let them have it, doctor. How? Boy, oh boy, you need an escort to get out of your speeches?
No, now, let me just give you a little background. This paper was written approximately in 1969 and presented in 1970. It was written for a group of black psychiatrists who were looking at racism.
Yeah.
It was also written because as a psychiatrist and working in a hospital trying to treat black people and white people, but recognizing that the majority of the problems that black patients had in a psychiatric hospital, when you took a history, you would run smack into racism. So I knew I had to understand racism to help solve the mental health problems of black people. Okay. So out of my brain computer, putting in the question, why do we see this behavior? Why have we seen it for hundreds of years? So I thought about these two things, basically two facts, that even though the white population says that people of color are minorities, that it is the white population that is the minority on the planet.
That's the reality you're saying.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
That in spite of the fact that black people, non-white people have heard over and over again, you're genetically inferior because you are non-white. That in reality, white skin is a genetic recessive status, not as said by Frances Welsing. You see, meaning that if
you and I were to have a baby, the baby would have color, and you make the contribution, and I don't.
That white plus colored. Well, wait a minute. It's not Frances Welsing that is concerned about the disappearance of white. Ben Wattenberg just wrote a book, The Birth Dearth. There have been multiple articles in the newspaper talking about the decline of Western populations.
Yeah, here's the Washington Post, just to name one. We are a depopulation bomb, the withering of the Western world. Here, incidentally, this was the percentage of the West's population in 1900, the turn of this century, about 30%. This is where we'll be less than 10% in the year 2075. Here's where we are about today, 15. So we're not having babies.
So whites are not having babies, and there is the concern about white genetic annihilation. In other words, I look at, this is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday holiday, and people will say, well, here's a man who talked about love. Yeah. Why was he killed? And I say that the deeper logic is, what if all black and white people and non-white people and white people love? What would happen to white people? white would disappear. You see, just mix all of the people on the planet up
In other words,
together.
if race didn't matter, or if color didn't matter, it follows with the jet planes.
No, I'm not saying if it didn't matter. I'm saying that indeed, if there was a mingling of all of the people,
That's what I'm
because the
saying.
ability, okay, fine.
Absence of prejudice.
The ability, no, wait, don't confuse what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we mixed all of the people presently on the planet, stirred them up,
The white freckle-faced people would be gone.
Genetic recessive status would disappear. And that if I did a survey and everybody didn't have to, face anybody, if I said how many people who are white want their children to be white, want their grandchildren to be white, want their great-grandchildren to be white, want their great-great-grandchildren to be white. And I've gone all over the country in England and asked this question. Yeah. Everybody wants the children and the generations to remain white. Yes. If you do, then you have to do something to make sure that happens. And I say that what the thing is that is done, and particularly in relationship to black non-whites, because we have the greatest genetic potential to cause white genetic annihilation.
Because you're the blackest.
Because we, right.
Most color.
Right, we have this ability to produce melanin pigment. We have more of it than anybody else. And so the most pressure is on black people. As a matter of fact, the black people learn, all non-white people over the world learn. If you're black, stay back. If you're yellow, you're brown, stick around. If you're yellow, mellow, white, right. I can go to England and the people can just say the same thing. Doesn't matter if you go to the Philippines, because there has been a confrontation of brown with white. Everybody knows the more pigment you have, the more pressure that is on you. Yeah. But they didn't understand why. I said the why is for the purpose of white genetic survival.
Right.
Boom. Boom.
Bam.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Bam.
That is the great master teacher, Queen Mother, yes. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I would advise everybody, if you haven't watched that full episode of the Donahue Show with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, watch it when you really got time to sit down with it. Watch how she handled that crowd. You know what I'm saying? Watch how she just like I said in the song that I dedicated to her. She keeps a godly presence in the face of these Nazis. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of key points that was made during that episode that I think people really need to get into. Obviously, we can't play it all here, but definitely go watch that. Even if you saw it before, watch it again when you got time to really sit down and analyze it. You know what I'm saying? Not when you occupied cooking or driving or doing something else, but when you got time to sit there and really analyze it and like pause it, maybe with some friends. You know what I'm saying? Y'all watch it together and talk about it. It's deep, man. It's
also
real
get
deep.
The Black Bible, the ISIS paper.
Absolutely.
Get the Black Bible, the ISIS papers. I've only read it once a while ago, and I definitely need to read it again. Like uninterrupted, I need to delve into it again. With everything that's going on right now, I told myself I'm reading this book again. Like I have to read it again.
It's a great foundation to have, man. I read the ISIS papers. The first time I read the ISIS papers years ago, yeah. like 2001 or something like that. Oh, 2000, 2001, something like that. And it's something that, you know, I bought over and over again and always went back to and reference, like you said, like a Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you just read and put it down. It's something that you study and you reference, you know what I'm saying, as you grow and develop into knowledge of self and consciousness, you know what I'm saying? And people are at different stages, you know what I'm saying, as far as that development goes. Like, you know, a lot of people are just now, you know, hearing from any of these master teachers, you know what I'm saying, coming on the internet, coming on YouTube, watching Hidden Colors or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I grew up under the influence of a lot of these people. There's a lot of people that I was introduced to on the internet as well. Don't get it messed up. Like I didn't know who Dr. Claude Anderson was, and you know some of the others. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just coming up, you know, in the 5% Nation and all of that. You know, studying Elijah Muhammad, you know, Clarence 13X and all of that, and studying hip hop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people was introduced to me through hip hop as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the books, a lot of the teachers, they were mentioned by my favorite rappers. And so me always being an analyst of the lyrics, I wanted to know what they was talking about and who they was talking about. And so it piqued my curiosity from a young age. So, you know, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this.
Boom.
But peace to the family. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. If you don't know, I am the God, Sincere Love. Not sincere to love God, as a lot of y'all like to say out here. I'm not sincere the love God. I am sincere love, the God.
That
You know
part.
what I'm saying? My name is Sincere Love, and I am the God. And I'm here with my lovely co-host, Nicey Girl, in the digital building. You're watching Sincere Love the Godcast. So what's going on?
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up to the God family in the building? Jackson,
Peace to the
Harlem.
gods in the chat. Peace to the Goderators. Jackson,
Right.
Harlem.
I like that.
Nikki the Goderator. Some chick named Star. What's going on, family? Hey, hit the like button. Share this out. We about to get real busy today. We got a lot to talk about.
Ooh.
As y'all know, this whole Roe v. Wade thing done hit the fan. The country is up in arms. Some of the black family is still confused because they don't know what white supremacy is. They don't understand what it is, exactly how it works. And so they are therefore confused about a lot of what they're saying. I know. And thank you for that, Nikki. I thank you. I like how you stay on their heads when they say my name wrong. That's why I love black women. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love having black women around, because y'all gonna stay on somebody's head. You know, I let certain shit slide. Ain't no big deal. Somebody say my name wrong or whatever. I just be like, yeah, I'm sincere. Just sincere. But a black woman gonna be like, oh, excuse me.
Right.
You said his name wrong. His name is not Sincere to Love God. All right. Like, black women be on your ass. Goddamn it.
I'm his mama. Get his name right.
Yeah. What they keep calling Nicey? NYCT.
They call New York City.
NYCT girl. They got Nicey girl sounding like a trans.
Right. You see, man. No, all
they got Nicey girl sounding like a trans. That's NYC the T girl.
Right. I've actually given birth. I have a womb.
Word up. But yeah, welcome everybody, man. Welcome to today's episode. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about Roe v. Wade, breaking this thing down, giving y'all the racist history of the Roe v. Wade case, and putting things in perspective so that people know how to move and operate. You know what I'm saying, when they see stuff like this taking place, and what people can look forward to that's coming down the pipe as well. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because this is just the beginning of some of the dismantling of a lot of these liberal agendas that's been, codified in place for a long time now. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, we're going to talk about all that. In the meantime, y'all hit that like button. Y'all share this out on your social medias and let everybody know that the Godcast is live. What's going on? B1 for life. Nicey, what you got there?
What's up?
What you got there over your shoulder?
We have a lot. Oh, so you guys, everybody knows that for a long time I've wanted some Yeezys, right? And so how he sells his shoes, basically you have to go on the app, the Adidas app, and you have to get like in this little raffle type thing. And if you select it, you're selected. I have been trying for so long. So sometimes I'll get in there just assuming that I'm not going to get selected. Well, I got 3 pair now. Now that I have them, I'm really not a tennis shoe girl. I'm really not. I was thinking about having a raffle, y'all. So I got some 350s here. Of course, never won. Tag still on. So I got the Yeezy 350s here. And I wore a pair already, so I'm not going to raffle those out. And I got some 700s. These just dropped last week. So, yeah.
What size are they?
All size 7 in men. I wear 7 in men. So
big ass
these
feet.
Are the 700. The 700. Right there. So I'm thinking about possibly having. That was the box. Sorry. Yeezys. Size
7 in men. How tall are you?
Me 5'6".
5'6"? Okay.
Mm-hmm. 5'6".
Okay.
And
So it's gonna be a raffle coming up.
it's gonna be a raffle coming up next week. Next week, I'll give y'all some more details once I get it all, together. But yeah, anybody a fan, I got some Yeezys over here. I'm kind of still okay. These ones I love the
Those are
colors.
hard. Those are hard. Those are hard. I ain't gonna
They
lie.
look
Those are hard.
orange on camera, but they're actually red. They're red, and yeah, I don't. These not gonna be a hard one for me, but
Those is hard. I like how he did those. Like he mixed the wave runners with some other shit. Yeah,
yeah,
those is tough.
I'm scared to wear these because they're all white or beige. I'm just nervous. I'm clumsy. I'm very clumsy. If you guys don't know, so yeah, we gonna have a raffle on some easy 350s.
All right, so yeah, you gotta let us know how that raffle gonna go. You know, what's gonna be the entry fee? Is it gonna be a package or it's gonna be two separate raffles? However you decide to do it, update us so we can let the family know. And
Right?
um, I know they have like certain websites where you could do like a wheel, like everything is digital. You know what I'm saying? You could put or everybody
Yeah,
that enters
yeah.
a name inside the wheel, and then do it like go live on Instagram or whatever, and spin the wheel, and whoever wins wins. So that way everybody know it's fair. You know what I'm saying? But
We're
yeah,
gonna
we could
try
talk
something
about
out.
that.
Let's get into the
All
topic
right.
though. I
Yeah,
just can't wait.
let's get it in. Let's get it in. So, for those of y'all who's been under a rock for the last, I don't even know when this was. Let me pull this. Let me pull
A
this
couple of
story
days
up right
ago.
here.
Was it Friday? Was it Friday? Thursday, Friday?
This was June 24th. What's today?
Today's the 26th.
Okay, so it's just 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days
It seems
ago.
like it seems like it been longer than that.
The way these folks acting up,
All right.
the white
So
left.
Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade and landmark abortion decision a couple of days ago. And the country, oh damn, I'm on the wrong page. Hold up, y'all. And the country is a little torn right now. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine that. Imagine that.
How you feel about it? Let's just talk about that first. What's your thoughts on it, Nice?
My thoughts
As
is
a as a black woman with a womb who's giving birth and all of that, like, what's your thoughts on this?
as a black woman with a womb that has given birth to two children, who has never had an abortion, who's never desired an abortion, would never fathom having one. I respect anyone's decision, however, to do it. You know, now that I'm learning, the reasons why people get abortion is based on off of poverty, right? Not being able to financially take care of children. Um,
Black
I say,
people.
yeah, I say, great, this is overturned. I'm excited about it. I feel like now, this black people are reborn right now. We're just coming into a whole new um, space where we're acknowledging our unique identity, right? We're putting ourselves and our interests first. And abortion is not an interest that is in favor of Black America because we're basically killing off our nation, our future nation. When we're talking about, us being 13% of the population, which we know is a lie, we know that that's false, right? But why would we still, since the 60s, still be 13% of the population? Which doesn't make sense. But killing off our nation just doesn't make any sense. I feel like this also pushes us to be more responsible with who we are laying down with,
Mm-hmm.
right? Marry before you carry. How about that? Now
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about Black families, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about Black households, man, woman, and child or children. This is what we're pushing in the Black community. Abortion does not align with that. So going out here having irresponsible sex, laying with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, or guys putting their seed, up in these little, ratchets or whatever, it's just no longer an option. And I just think that that's a good thing. It's a great thing to think about, who you want to lay with, and if I got this person pregnant, do I see myself with this person? Do I see myself raising a family with this person? We got to get in the mindset of family and nation building, and killing our seeds is not nation building.
Right. Hey, I couldn't agree with you more. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of black people out there that would disagree with both of us. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
A lot of black people feel some type of way about this. They feel like this is infringing on women's rights, women's liberation, women's right to choose, my body,
Right.
my choice. All of these catchphrases that's been pushed out there by the liberals for the most part, that a lot of people were raised on, a lot of the belief systems that people were raised on, it's embedded, um, and I would say in general black society, not in intelligent black society, not in, obviously the black
Right.
grassroots, people who are in tune with new black media, people who really know the history behind some of these laws and policies and understand our plight and our struggle that we've been through here in North America, and how abortion has negatively affected the
Impacted.
black community. A lot of people don't have that information, don't know what time it is when it comes to that. And so
But
they
shut
have
up.
that belief system that, this is infringing on the rights of women, and black women are being affected the most by this. What say you?
What about the black man? Because a woman, I don't know one woman that got pregnant without a black man. I don't know one black woman that got pregnant by herself. That woke up one day and was just pregnant, talking about my body, my choice. Also, when we were talking about this global pandemic, it wasn't my body, my choice. So why is it my body, my choice now?
Now that's that's that's
So
going out, that's pointing out the hypocrisy from mostly the liberals too, the
right,
political
both
establishment
of them.
overall, because some of the right wingers was pushing the jab as well. But you're right. When it came to the jab, it wasn't my body, my choice.
No.
But when it
Mm-mm.
comes to this, my body, my choice. And another thing is, you know, out of all of the issues, let's just say, if we were to just focus on black women, you know what I'm saying? We don't do that over here. You know what I'm saying? We focus on the black family, black man, black
Right.
women. We in the same boat,
Period.
right? But let's just say we were to focus on issues that are exclusive to black women. Out of all of the issues that black women have, they seem to can't get no assistance, no help when it comes to
No.
anything else. But when it comes
Mm-mm.
to aborting your baby, you top priority now.
Utah part, and then they've convinced black women that now, which I also believe that this is false. I believe that this is a narrative. I think that this is a way of mind control and convincing us that abortion is healthcare, when they're saying that more black women are dying while giving birth than any other ethnic group. I personally don't believe that, because our ancestors was having up to 20 kids, no twins. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother personally had 9 children. You know what I'm saying? I have aunties that have 15 children. You understand what I'm saying? So you cannot convince me when, they had way less than we have today, and they weren't dying. Most of the
Well,
children were born by midwife, not even in a medical facility where you have
I,
all
I'll
this high
slightly
tech
I'll
equipment.
slightly disagree with you that they had less than what we have now. I'll slightly disagree with you on that, because
Financially,
we know we
money
know we
wise.
know we know a lot of black wealth has left the black community over the last few decades. You know
True.
what I'm saying? A lot of the lands, even some of the jobs that our grandparents had that was able to sustain the family, they ain't available no more to this generation. So that part I would disagree with, but your point still stands.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um,
But to convince black women that, we're dying because of giving birth, so when you get pregnant, just abort because you're gonna die. I just have a hard time believing that. I just don't believe that women are
And like you
dying,
said earlier,
in no purpose like
that's the
that.
thing. That's the thing. You said it earlier. The number one reason for abortion in the black community is economic.
Poverty.
Black
Hmm.
women are not getting abortions because of, and it happens. There are cases of these, but I'm just saying the majority is not because of rape. It's not because of
Mm-mm.
incest. It's not because of health problems, the risk of death. Those are not the top reasons that why black women get abortions. Most black women who've gotten abortions, who consider getting abortion, anything like that, it's because they feel like they can't afford to take care of the child. They feel like they can't
Right.
afford, they're not ready financially. So
let's
my
be
thing is, you
also
fix
too.
the economics, just like most of our problems in the Black community. If you
Right.
fix the economics, then we don't
You
have this
fix the
issue.
abortion problem. You fix the abortion problem. And if you fund all the money that's funneled into Planned Parenthood, Lizzo with your stupid ass, all the money that's flooded and funneled into Planned Parenthood, why not funnel that money into child care, programs so that women can go to work, because nowadays, with inflation and stuff, it does require maybe two household incomes. There's really not a lot of options for Black women to stay at home and just raise their family a lot of times. Not saying with everybody, but
Right,
nowadays, we're seeing that it takes two to
right.
make it.
That
Sometimes
goes
three or
back. That
four.
goes back to what I was saying. That goes back to what I was saying about our grandparents and some of our great grandparents. You know what I'm saying? Our grandfather job was good enough to take care of the family, so grandma could stay home and raise the kids. Now,
But and
both parents
also,
got to go to work. If both parents are even around, both parents got to go to work.
right,
Me and my
right,
wife is gone. You know what I'm
gone all
saying?
day.
Most of the week.
And unlike other communities, though, they're able to leave their children at home with their grandparents, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to worry about childcare. Most of our people are still working well into their 70s. You know what I'm saying? Still
Right.
working jobs. So we can't leave our kids at home to be, with the help of our grandparents, because our grandparents have worked up until retirement age
Now, this
sometimes.
while we're here, I want to say this too, because on that same episode, and again, I encourage everybody to go watch that episode when Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was on the Donahue show. And she said this in other lectures and stuff as well too. But Donahue had asked her about um she said that Black women shouldn't have children until the age of 30, and Black men shouldn't have children until the age of 35. And she broke down the reasons why, because of the conditions that we in, the condition that we find ourselves in under the system of
Mm-hmm.
white supremacy. She was offering that up as a strategy for us to combat that, so that we can get ourselves together as a family. You know what I'm saying? So that we could be our full selves and have a full understanding of who we are before we start bringing children into the world, so that we can have a degree of economic stability. You know what I'm saying? With each other. A lot of times we playing catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we having these kids super early, and then you just trying to go to school, raise the kids. You know what I'm saying? Get a better job. You know what I mean? All at the same time. So she's saying we should be waiting. We should delay having children until we are financially ready, until we are mentally and emotionally ready, until we really understand the world that we live in, and the environment that we live in, so that we can raise healthy children, so that the next generation has a better chance than what we had. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to build strong families. So in order for us to do that, we have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
so I think that was powerful right there, what she said. And
Very
the
powerful.
reason why I can attest to it too, because I had my first son, biological son, when I was 25. But Seven was born when I was what, 30, 37? There's a big difference. There's a big difference from me at 37 and me at 25, and how I'm raising Seven compared to a lot of the mistakes that I made with my other children. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So mentally, we're more prepared. You know what I'm saying? If we take our time. And she said a 2-child limit, correct? She said a
I don't know about
2-child limit. She said we should only have 2.
Mm-mm.
Now,
Mm-mm. I don't
talk
know about
about
that.
being until we get out of the situation that we're in as a strategy. So
And
go
yeah,
watch that, y'all. I ain't
and like
breaking it down as fly as she did, but go
and like
watch that.
Tanisha said, what does Planned Parenthood do with the dead babies after they're aborted? Use our dead baby cells, to help get white people well,
Mm-hmm.
to help create medicines for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
To further study us and our melanin. That's exactly, and that's a big business as well. And Black women are not getting any money. My thing is, what's her name? Angela Staton actually made this point. When babies are aborted, Black babies are aborted, they're not giving you that baby and saying, okay, now here's your baby, you can go and bury it. You know what I'm saying? They're holding on to those cells and stuff for their economics and research and all this kind of stuff. But to answer that question, Tamisha, for research, for their health, not for our
Experimentation.
benefit, for experiments. Yeah.
Right. It's more, medical apartheid. It still falls under the whole medical apartheid.
And to study us. They're still trying to study us.
Exactly. And you guys, I appreciate, you guys engaging in the chat and all of that. Those of you who are really are burning to get your point across, please stick around, because we want to invite some of y'all to come on a little bit later in the show. We'll drop the link in the chat for some of y'all to come on and speak your mind about the situation, see if we can help bring more clarity to what's going on here. Right.
Well, and to add to what you said, I had my first child at 19. Literally 19 years old. I had my second one at 28. 28, yeah. And I feel like I still make the same mistake in a way.
You feel like you made the same mistake as a mother, or as far as who you chose to have a child with?
I'll say, okay, so let me back that up then. Because the first one, again, I was super young, got pregnant at 19, got married at 20. I was divorced by 24, 25, around there. The first one, it was just immaturity on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And if I knew now what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, I would have fought harder for my family and for my marriage. That's the honest truth. The second one was just, I love my child. I would not change it for the world, but that was just, shouldn't have happened. The end.
That was what?
And that shouldn't have happened. And that's just the truth, you know what I'm saying? But I love, what I got out of it. And, and I will also say that, he does his best.
I appreciate you sharing that. I know that was kind of hard to say right there.
He does his best.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that, that openness right there. Yeah, y'all don't judge my goddamn sister either. Y'all don't be judging my sister. I know how y'all internets get down out here.
I ain't worried about them. Ain't nobody gonna whoop me though.
There you go. There you go. So let me go over here real quick. We're going to talk about, first of all, some of the negative effects that abortion has on the Black community, right? Let me stop sharing this. Boom. And let me reshare this page right here. We're going to talk about some of the negative effects that abortion has on the Black community. And I got this PDF over here. I think this was on the Congress's. I got this off of the Congress's website somewhere.
It's in the what's the name? Materials.
It was a link that you have to download in there. That's the only way I could figure out how to do it, because it was a PDF. So I got it right here.
Okay.
So this policy report, the effects of abortion on the Black community. Center for Urban Renewal and Education. That's where this comes from. This is from June 2015. Politicians argue for abortion largely because they do not want to spend the necessary money to feed, clothe, and educate more people. Here, arguments for inconvenience and economic savings take precedence over arguments for human value and human life. Psychiatrists, social workers, and doctors often argue for abortion on the basis that the child will grow up mentally and emotionally scarred. But who of us is complete? If incompleteness were the criterion for taking life, we would all be dead. If you can justify abortion on the basis of emotional incompleteness, then your logic could also lead you to killing for other forms of incompleteness, blindness, crippleness, old age, etc. And that was from then pro-life Jesse Jackson. That was a quote from then pro-life Jesse Jackson in 1977. A lot of these people be flip-flopping all over the place with their
when they start getting them biscuits.
Right, exactly. Depending on the whiff of the biscuit, that's where their opinion derives from.
Right.
So since 1973, Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision, over 54 million babies have been aborted in centers around the nation. It can be said with certainty that the practice has had a personal, practical, and political effect on communities and citizens. Every town, city, ethnicity, and age group has suffered from the tragic effects of this mostly surgical and sometimes medical procedure. The true toll of abortion may remain unknown and immeasurable because the data, for the most part, has not been collected, crazy, or has been ignored by those responsible for its collection. So we don't even really know the totality of the effects because they don't even keep the data, family.
And that's,
They don't
I'm
even
sure
keep
it's on
the data.
purpose. That's on purpose.
Exactly. That's insane.
Well, for us, it's going to be numbers because it's a numbers game. Since the 60s, they're claiming that we've still been 13% of the population, which means either we're not having babies or we're aborting our babies, or both.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't, it's just the math isn't math. And then also in that first one, when it says that the government just doesn't want to spend the money, to house, clothes, y'all spending money on non-citizens.
Right.
You don't
That
have
just shows
you
where
don't
your
have a
project.
problem with spending money on different wars. You don't have problem giving the LGBT community money. You don't have a problem giving Ukraine billions of dollars. You don't have a problem with giving other people money. So why not funnel that money into America?
Mm-hmm. That just shows where your priorities are. Where you spend
Right.
your money shows where your priorities are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It shows where your values are. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. That's the thing that black people who out there who may be upset about this, the overturning of this decision. That's the thing that y'all need to think about and understand. Since when does this government, left wing or right wing, give a damn about you, your goddamn kids?
Right.
Since when have they put value on black women?
Can we
You know
name
what I'm
some
saying?
people?
Just that's the thing
Lizzo.
that y'all need to think about. Like, just
Can we
use your
name some
common
people?
sense. They don't
Can we
care about
name?
nothing else. They don't care if you got a good education. They don't care if you
No.
got access to healthy food. They don't care if you can if you homeless. They don't care about none of your other issues.
Who's the number one homeless?
Foundational Black Americans.
I'm just saying. Who's the number one incarcerated? They don't mind.
Foundational Black
They
Americans.
don't mind putting money into that and
Right.
building more of them. So we got
When you
money for
need
what we want.
when you need justice, you at the back of the line. When you
Period.
need an abortion, you at the front of the line.
Make it make sense.
But these the same people. These the same people who are making these decisions and calling these shots and telling you what your priorities should be. These are the things y'all got to take a pause. Stop being so emotional. Stop allowing the media to pluck at your heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Take a pause and just think for a second about who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with and what their angle is. Take your
Right.
emotions out of it. That's all. That's what I ask.
Now,
Some of
and
y'all too emotional.
Tamisha made a great point. I wonder, will rap music still promote a promiscuous lifestyle? Good question, because a lot of your, female rappers in hip hop, mammies of hip hop, as I call them, Lizzo just donated $500,000 to Planned Parenthood. You have the likes of Plies talking stupid, about abortion. You have just so many of them. I mean, you can just go on, their timelines for the last couple of days. Your very known rappers, male and female, are talking about this as if it was something personal. Like, it's wrong to overturn this and the woman's rights in the body. And no, nigga, you just want to be able to bust a nut up in the bitch and tell her, give her $200 and tell her to go get this abortion. And you can't do that no more. Now your dumb ass got to be responsible. And Lizzo,
Exactly.
ain't nobody trying to get you pregnant. You big enough. I said what I said.
Exactly. And that's the other part of the game right there, man. Like my sister just said. The bottom line is there's a price for freedom, family.
Mm-hmm.
There's a price for freedom and there's a price for independence. And a large portion of that price is going to be discipline and responsibility.
We needed it anyway.
So being able to just kick back and turn up and just, do ratchet shit with your ratchet friends, that's not going to be conducive to Black empowerment.
Right.
So in order for us to be empowered, a lot of things are going to have to change about the culture. We're going to have to raise the standards in the community in order for us to be an independent, respectable people in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so that means that you're going to have to be responsible sexually. You can't just be laying down with anybody, getting anybody pregnant. You're going to have to think twice before you do things like that. You're gonna have to be more strategic and planning and thinking about building families or wearing a damn condom. You know what I'm saying?
Birth
Whatever other
control.
options. But just running down to the abortion clinic is not going to be an option for you no more. That
You know what?
$400 ain't going to save you no more.
Nah, good, good. And you know what? I've heard this throughout, my life because everybody knows someone personally, that may have done this. And I've raised this question before. Why just get on birth control? Like there's different types or whatever. I don't want to gain weight. I can't remember to take the pill. I like every excuse
It's a
in
lot of
the
negative. It's a
world.
lot of negatives with birth control too, though.
It is, but what I'm saying is there's preventative methods. You got the Plan B pill.
Right.
As long as you pop that bitch in between that and 72 hours, you may be good. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is a condom is $1. You get you a jumbo pack, you ain't got to worry about it.
Nah, condom ain't no dollar. Ain't no dollar.
I don't know.
Ain't never been no damn dollar.
They do have them at the store. Like you can buy them behind the thing. You get a 3-pack.
If the condom costs $1, do not buy that shit, my nigga.
Well, hold on. At the same Planned Parenthood, you can just walk up in there and ask for some, and they'll give them to you for free.
Don't get those either, my nigga. Go spend you
gotta do something.
$5 on some condoms, man.
You got to do something though. What I'm saying is
invest in your condoms, nigga. Don't go the cheap route when it comes to the strap.
And just we always talk about the woman's body. Men, please be careful about who you put your feet in.
I want to talk about that too.
Ass bitches out here, some raggedy. And I ain't talking about physically raggedy. I'm talking about mentally raggedy ass women out here that you shouldn't want raising your seeds anyway.
We know it. We just lack the discipline. You know what I mean? But I want to talk about that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear a lot of this on social media too. Men shouldn't have an opinion when it comes to this whole subject. Men, this ain't got nothing to do with us. You hear a lot of men saying this shit too. I don't want to hear nothing from no man. Yada yada yada. This is about women, and why do men have an opinion about a woman's womb and blah blah blah? But the thing is, how is it that a woman has all of these rights that a man don't got no say so in? But if I don't want to have a child, I don't have a choice. If the woman decides to have the baby that we both laid down and made, even though I don't want to have the child, I'm still going to be responsible for that child that she decides to go bring into the world for the next 18 years. Yeah. I don't have the option of saying, nah, I'm cool on that. I wasn't ready.
Right.
So why should a woman have that option to say, nah, you know what? I ain't doing this? Because a lot of times the man won't want to get the abortion. The man will be like, nah, keep the baby. And the chick will be like, nah, I'm getting an abortion. Or her family will press her to get an abortion or something like that. Regardless to how the man feel about it. A lot of niggas got their heart broke over some shit like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So how is it that men shouldn't have an opinion about that? That don't even make no sense.
My thing is, that's just like a man not having an opinion on Trayvon Martin's father. He didn't have if his wife, ex-wife, because they were not together at the time, was like, well, you shouldn't be grieving because this was my seed. What's the difference? To me, it's your seed. Without you, she would not be pregnant. Or what if, you guys have this conversation, she's like, I'm not ready. I don't want this kid. I want to have an abortion. And the man says, well, just give it to me. I'll raise it. I want my seed. I want what I planted. I don't know if it's an age thing, whatever the case. He wants it. Should he not have the right to say what he wants done to his seed?
Yeah,
I feel some kind of way about that. I do.
That whole sentiment about men shouldn't have an opinion, that doesn't make any sense to me, man.
None.
This is a family issue, okay?
It is.
This is a family issue. This is not just a women's issue. This is the black family issue.
It took two to make it. It took two. So it's two that needs to make that decision together, if anything. But to say that a woman does not have a right to say anything is just asinine and ass backwards. But that's another way to divide the black man and the black woman, because they already know that that's going to cause some type of, division within
gender
us.
war. Yeah.
Gender war within us. That's exactly what they're promoting right now. And if you're not if you don't have your third eye open, you won't see that shit.
Facts. Facts. Now let me ask you this. We both agree that overturning Roe v. Wade was a good thing.
Mhm.
Do you believe there should be exceptions?
I do.
Like,
I would say health. Sometimes when a woman finds out she's pregnant, they get an ultrasound. They may find some type of tumors or something like that, and they say, it's you or the child. And if she makes that decision, to attempt to have that child and risk it, great. If she says, I don't want to because I'm scared that I may lose my life, that's, when it comes to health, by all means. Um, Rape or incest. I know for me, I don't think that I would want to have the child of someone that brutally raped me. You know what I'm saying? To have that memory, you know what I'm saying? I think
mhm,
that that choice should be made with the person who was victimized if they want to, have that child or not, because you don't know what mentally having that child is going to do. Am I going to abuse it because I hate how I got pregnant? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to really love it?
mhm.
So in cases like that, rape, incest, um, health, yes, I believe that there should be some exceptions to the rule, 1000%.
I
But to
agree.
just do it because you mad at the nigga, because I got pregnant and he told me I don't want to be with you no more, you know what I'm saying? Or you found out that he was cheating on you, so I'm gonna go, have an abortion, or because I'm using abortion as birth control versus using abstinence, condoms, or other types of contraception, then I don't agree with that at all.
I agree with you. So to be clear, health issues, you know what I'm saying? Risk of death, rape, incest, which is both same thing. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Should be exceptions. And now the thing about this is, family, before Roe v. Wade, when before Roe v. Wade came into effect, abortion was illegal, but those exceptions always were in place.
Hmm.
They always had those exceptions that we just talked about.
Right.
So what are we going back to? That's the only thing that we're going back to. Those exceptions will still stand.
Right.
So what's the big boogeyman?
They
What's
don't
the
know.
big boogeyman? Because a lot of people are trying to use the death thing. Well, men, you guys are not the one that's risking your lives. It's women that are risking their life laying down on that table to give birth to a baby. If we're talking about a high risk of death, we agree that she should have that option.
Hmm.
We agree with that, and so does the law. You know what I'm saying? So what's the problem?
The problem is the left wing has tapped on a string of theirs. And a lot of these people don't even understand how Roe versus Wade came up to begin with, based on a
Right,
fucking lie to
and that's
begin
what
with.
we're about to
And the
talk
black
about.
man being labeled, black men being labeled rapists who were not, and this damn fool admitted later that, she did drugs, she was an alcoholic, she lied, she did this stuff for money and all kinds of shit.
All right, don't skip. We're gonna get to that, but that's facts. That's facts. All right, before we get to that, let me pull this up. This is from a final call some years back. It's called Silent Killer Abortions in the Black Community. Jesse Muhammad wrote this in the final call some years back, 2010.
2010.
So abortions in the black community occur 1,425 times a day, and 30% of yearly abortions occur to black women, according to research by the Allen Guttmacher Institute. The CDC reports that abortions have killed more blacks over the last 30 years than heart disease, cancer, strokes, accidents, diabetes, homicide, and chronic lower respiratory disease combined. I have not been the same since I had my abortion 2 years ago. I allowed my stupid boyfriend to talk me into doing it because he was too sorry to own up to the responsibility, yet he didn't mind having sex with me. Lisa Watson, 21 years old. Miss Watson dropped out of high school and has been working at a local mall in Houston for the last 3 years. Having an abortion messed up your mind. I didn't realize it would haunt me like this, and I vowed to never do it again. I hid it from my mother and suffered in silence, said Miss Watson. Now, a lot of people don't talk about that aspect of the game when it comes to abortion either. The trauma that's associated with that. You know what I'm saying? They promote this stuff to black women. You know what I mean? Ain't no big deal. You ain't ready to have no baby. You know, just go down to the abortion clinic. Just go ahead and get an abortion. But the trauma that's associated with that, and you know what I'm saying? All of us know women, you know, who've been through this. You know what I mean? And they talk about those nightmares. They talk about the shame, the guilt. You know what I'm saying? The negative psychological effects of knowing what you went and did. You know what I'm saying? And even the men. Even men. So again, men definitely should be included in this conversation because again, the men who women have had abortions against the men's wishes, or even if the men initially agreed, you know, they still think about it. They still think about what the birthday would have been. You know what I'm saying? They almost have like that they're mourning the death. You know what I'm saying? Of the child that would have been. You know, you have people who've broken up and are mad at each other because of the abortion. You know what I'm saying? The child that should have been. You know what I mean? So there's trauma associated with it. And you know, the liberals, they don't like to talk about that part of the game. They act like it's nothing. Oh no, ain't no big deal.
But when has our mental trauma ever been addressed? You know, they've addressed it with the Jews, but they've never ever researched the trauma within our community as to what slavery did to our people, with you know those lynchings during Jim Crow did to our people, abortions did to our people, poverty. They don't want to talk about that or do any researches on that. They just allow us to suffer, you know. But I have a friend who at 18 got pregnant, and she hid it from her mom for as long as she could because she knew her mom would be upset. She still lived at home. Again, she's 18. She hid it from her mom literally till she had a baby bump. I think she was like 6 months. Here in California, there are abortion clinics here that terminate pregnancies up to 6 months pregnant, and her mother made her do that. And she had to go into the hospital basically to have it done. It was like a 3-day procedure or something. How they do it, I don't know. But yeah, up to 6 months. And right now, today, this was probably at this point 20 years ago, if not longer, and she still talks about it. You know, and their relationship, you know, they love each other 1000%, but their relationship is different and has changed because of that. You know, based off of my conversations, you know, with her, this still haunts her to this day that her mother made her do it. And she knew she obviously didn't want to, and she hid it because she was like, if I hide it and I'm too far along, she has to accept it. No, mama got in the phone book. I found this doctor right here. They'll do it up to 6 months. Let's go.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Now, some chick named Star says ectopic pregnancies is a reason also. What is that?
So you're basically pregnant inside of your tubes, your fallopian tubes, and that's very, very dangerous.
Can you even go full term if that happens?
No. You'll either miscarry or you have to go into the hospital. My friend had to. I have a friend that had that happen to her twice. So, and it's very, very dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine if that happened, you know, they would have to do something, right? Because that's crazy right there. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, Star. Boom. She also said having an abortion is dangerous too. Uterine perforation. Yeah. So it's not all good.
And I hear it's painful. The aftermath of that, the cramping, the bleeding, all that stuff. Like they don't want to talk about that. It's just like go in and it's like a party and confetti is going to be thrown after you have it. They don't talk about this type of stuff. The conversations we as sisters specifically have with one another, I'm saying, when one goes through something like that. And I will be honest, I've taken friends to do it, y'all. This is like my early 20s though, I'm saying? And even then, the conversations after, it was always a conversation of, should I have done that? I feel bad that I did that. It's always regret. I've yet to find someone and be like, I'm so glad I dodged that bullet. Not one time.
Let me tell you something. I wanted to get rid of 7.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. When my wife, well, she wasn't my wife yet at the time. But when she got pregnant, I was not with it. My daughter was 9 at the time, and so I thought I was done. Shop closed 9 years ago. You know,
No,
ain't
what?
no, huh?
No, when them swimmers was still swimming.
that's
No.
what I'm saying. But in my mind, I ain't about to start all over. Like I said, I was 37. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to be pushing no baby carriage around. I was not with it. Let me tell you, I was not with it. Me and her, we had beef, all that. She was
Yeah.
like, no. She was like, no, I'm having my baby. She thought it was gonna be a girl too. You know what I mean? She wanted to have a daughter. She already have a son. I had all boys and a girl. So she like, nah, this gonna be my daughter right here. So we was at each other. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't with it. Like, it took a minute.
Now
It
look.
took a minute, and that's what I'm saying.
That's your favorite.
This is what I'm saying. I should call him over here, right? 7.
Right? Look at that. Your little
7,
twin.
come here, man.
He stole your face. You know what I'm saying? Look at that.
So yeah, I cannot imagine, if she would have listened to me, you know what I'm saying, and we would have went through with that. Come here, son.
Just say something to you.
Hold on. Look at this, y'all. He would have never been
Look
here.
at that. Right. Hi,
He would have
7.
never been here. Say peace to the family. They can hear you. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Why you acting all shy when you get over here? You ain't shy.
Right. At all. Look at him.
Right. And so for those of y'all that know, for those of y'all that follow me, y'all know how this kid is, man. He's a super genius. You know what I'm saying? One of the smartest little 6-year-olds you ever gonna meet. And I almost wasn't with it, y'all. I wasn't with it. What you want to say?
Your wife.
Well, Joe said that there wasn't any ice cream at all.
It ain't no more. They ate it.
No, I mean like
go buy
before
some.
they ate it. That's what they said.
Huh?
Before they ate the ice cream, he said before we ate the ice cream.
I'll get you some, okay? I'll get you some. But yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a good look. It's not a good look, no matter how you want to slice it. It's not a good look. And the reason why, what was the main reason why I wasn't with it?
Finance.
Economics.
Finance, yeah.
Economics. It was already a lot of stress. We was living in an apartment. We was on top of each other, kids sharing a bedroom. You know what I mean? I'm going through it with my older kids' moms, child support, all this stuff. I'm like, oh hell no, another kid?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
that's
where the reparations come in at.
Right. And again, what we do as foundational Black Americans is we make a way out of no way. Not to say that it's not hard and things like that, but we tend to find a way out of no way. And for the most part, with both my kids up until I separated from my daughter's father. When we were going through our divorce, my daughter was 4. But he was always in her life. We weren't in the same house. You know what I'm saying? But he's always been a father. There was never a question about, time spent, him providing for her, even me, his family has always been there for me. Always. Today, if I needed them, they would be here for me. We're still a family, but my daughter's 27. But we've been a family, all these years and will remain one. Obviously a different situation with my second child, but I think later on, he just matured a little bit. Like I could depend on him more, and it just took a while for him to get there, and he does what he can. And I'm grateful. I know he loves my child. We didn't make it or whatever, but it took us a little more time to get where it is today. And it's been like this for a while. It didn't just happen, by the way. My son is 17. It didn't just happen, but it took a little bit of, pushing, pulling, and tugging with us to get it right. With my daughter, that was never an issue.
Yeah, man. That's a fact, man. A lot of our stories disclose in a general manner. You know what I'm saying? Not just foundational Black Americans, but Black people, in general. You know what I'm saying? Especially living in this country. A lot of our stories disclosed in a general manner. K Gravity said, I didn't know how to pay for my daughter. Plus, my wife and I were not in the best marriage area. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure if the funds was right, you know what I mean, that wouldn't even be under consideration.
It would not be.
It wouldn't even be under consideration. Even if the marriage was kind of on ice. If you know the baby gonna be able to take care of either way, even if the marriage don't survive,
you cool with
abortion is still not gonna be on the list of options.
And mind you, I was 19 when I had my daughter. Her dad was only 21, had just moved into his own place, had a decent job. And then when we got together, I moved in, you know what I'm saying? And his whole thing was, I don't want you to work. He's very traditional in that way. He wanted me to sit at home. So I didn't start working. I stayed at home and with my daughter until she was like 9 months pretty much. And I was just like, I want to go to work, you know what I'm saying? And the opportunity, came up for me where my mom worked or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I got a job, but he was just like, I don't want you to work. I want you here with the baby. His mom had to talk him into like letting me work.
I appreciate y'all in the chat showing love to my young God. Appreciate that. But no, he was born here in Georgia. He the only one that was born in Georgia. All the rest of my kids was born in New York. And we're not from New York City, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people here in New York.
You sound like a New Yorker.
New York City.
You sound like a New Yorker. You sound like a New Yorker. You got the New York accent.
You sound like you doing a Boston accent. What the hell is that? But yeah, we from not like way upstate like Buffalo, Rochester, or nothing like that, but I live like an hour outside of the city, north of the city as well.
So you could kind of come from the countryside or the rural side of New York?
It's not really country. It's just a small city. You know, there's surrounding areas that's real country. You know what I'm saying? There's surrounding areas where you wouldn't even expect to see no shit like that in New York. You know, farms and cows and shit, but not where I live at. Not where I live at. I live in like a small city, just a small city. But where we at here? Where we at? Okay, I already did that. Okay, so where's Hope Biden at on abortion today? Because
he's outraged. You know,
his history is all over the place.
Right. You know how it is when it's convenient, right, to get votes, to galvanize support. You know, they can make adjustments. Yeah,
when it's politically expedient, as they say. Oh, damn. Oh, New York Times. I ain't going to be able to pull this article up. But hold on. I'm subscribed to New York Times. Let me see if I can log in.
Let me see if I can open it.
Let me see if I can log in right here real quick. And I did it. Yep. Yeah, I'm subscribed to New York Times. Forgot about that. All right, so let me pull this up for y'all real quick. Damn. This ad won't get out the way. Oh.
Yeah, I can't open it because of that.
My subscription, my subscription ran out. Said your subscription. I need to. No, I ain't paying for that.
One. Yeah, I never had a subscription.
But anyway, I'm just gonna read the headline then. Goddamn.
Right.
I was gonna read the headline. So Joe Biden, let me see. When Joe Biden voted to let states, damn, that ad keep popping up quick. It's inside the what's the name, isn't it?
When Joe Biden voted to let states overturn Roe versus Wade, this was back in 1982. Joe Biden voted for a constitutional amendment to allow individual states to overturn Roe in 1982 and then later voted against it.
Right. So now y'all know how in Texas, here in Georgia, where I live at, before this Roe v. Wade thing got turned over, they already made abortion illegal here a couple years ago. They already made it illegal to get abortion in Georgia and Texas like 2-3 years ago. Right. That was made possible by that what Joe Biden was voting for in the 80s, giving states the ability to override what was supposed to be constitutional law of the land. You know what I'm saying? So even though Roe v. Wade was in place, Joe Biden was voting in favor to give states the power to override that at the time. And so now he's telling y'all it's such a horrible thing.
Right.
So which one is it?
Convenient.
So which one is it?
Convenient.
Those of y'all who are still supporting Biden for whatever reason.
Again, people don't like to do their due diligence and start researching stuff. They've allowed, what is it, MNBC, CNN, and all these other news stations where they get their news sources from, which is all propaganda. You know what I'm saying? They literally think that's the truth. And a lot of people align with the left, you know, because that's Democrat. But these people are literally leading Black people into a ditch.
And now y'all know from the beginning, Roe v. Wade was based off a lie, right?
Right.
Y'all know that, right, Black family? If you didn't know that, type a number 1 in the chat. If you have no idea what the whole Roe v. Wade thing was really based off of, just be honest and type a number 1 in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, you know, leave a comment in the comment section like, nah, I had no idea. I don't know who Roe is. I don't know who Wade is. If you don't know nothing about the history of the case, and you're watching this live, type a number 1 in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, just leave us a comment, you know, just giving us, you know, just be honest about what you knew or didn't know about this whole Roe v. Wade thing. But it was based on a lie to begin with. And the lie is the lie that the white supremacists love to tell. It's one of their favorite lies. And it's the black man rape lie. Right? So you had this team of lawyers back in the days. This is early 70s, right after the whole civil rights movement. You know, you had the Black Power movements going on in America and all that. Integration, all of that stuff had just taken place. Black people was making all these different strides in society. And the white media was pushing the black male rape propaganda to scare white people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the niggas are gonna rape you. You know, it's integration now. They're allowed to go to school with your kids, and the niggas are gonna rape you. You know how these niggas are. They can't control the dicks.
I want y'all with y'all
You know they lust after our white women, and they're gonna rape the white women, and so the abortion thing stems from these eugenics, the whole eugenics program that was taking place in the early 1900s, like the 1930s and all of that stuff. Margaret Sanger, that whole clique,
Mm-hmm.
Procter and Gamble, and Dr. Gamble from Procter and Gamble, and all of that. All those eugenicists from that era, they were the ones who really founded the abortion concept in America, right? And so some of their predecessors came along during this time, like I said, late 60s, early 70s, and they wanted to push this through. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to get these laws on the books, and so they already had their play in place of what they wanted to do. They just needed an individual that they could get behind to galvanize society, because society was fine the way things were, right? There was no Roe v. Wade. Abortion was illegal in most places, and with the exception of some of the situations that we talked about earlier. And society was fine with that. Society wasn't, especially black people, wasn't no black people running around saying, hey, we need the right to abortions. We need abortions. That was not part of black people's issues whatsoever. Nobody was asking for that. Nobody was protesting for that. Nobody was writing letters to their Congress people asking for that. None of that. So, you know, they have to push propaganda to get people on board with certain things. And so at this time, it was the niggas are coming to rape you. The niggas are going to rape your daughters. They're going to rape your wives and all of that. So they found this girl. I forgot what her real name is. You know her name?
I don't know that bitch name. I ain't tried. Roe ass.
Corman, something with a C, I think. I forgot what her real name is. But they found her and they gassed her up to go along with this lie that she had got raped by a gang of black dudes at a carnival here in Georgia. Right? That's not what happened at all. That's not what happened at all. This chick was a loose goose. She was running around, fucking. She ended up getting pregnant by some black dude, I think down in Florida somewhere. She was doing drugs, drinking, all type of shit. She was wild party girl. You know what I'm saying? And she ended up getting pregnant by some black dude down in Florida, and she didn't want to have the black baby. But again, abortions was illegal. So she got with this team of lawyers, and they lied and said that she was raped by a gang of black men down in Georgia.
Lawyer? Which lawyer, to be specific? There's a known one.
Well, at this time, I know you're talking about Gloria Allred. Gloria Allred wasn't representing her at this time when they scripted this whole lie and got the law pushed. Gloria Allred, who y'all know is infamous, who's
anti-black.
She came along later on representing her after she got her book deal and all of that shit, when she actually came out confessing that she was lying and all of that. That's when Gloria Allred came into the picture. But we still in the early 70s period right now. And so, basically, she got with the lawyers. She told this lie. They started spreading that all throughout the media, pushing this propaganda to get society on board to go along with Roe v. Wade. And Roe v. Wade got pushed into law. And so years later, she gets with Gloria Allred, and the truth starts to come out because now she got a book deal. You know what I mean? Let me just play her confession right here so y'all can see that we ain't just talking.
Jane Roe's story was a terrible one. She said she had been gang raped, gotten pregnant, was desperate to get an abortion. That's what everyone believed, as long as Jane Roe remained anonymous. When she went public, she told a different story.
You were raped while you were in Georgia?
No, I wasn't.
You were not?
Norma McCorvey, that's her name.
Oh, so all those stories that are in the books and so forth are not true?
Yes, sir. Yes.
They're not true.
Right.
And it turned out that lying wasn't the only embarrassment.
Who that, family?
Who
that standing right next to her right there?
Anti-black racist.
Who's that evil witch with the blue pantsuit on? Gloria goddamn Allred. She made a lifelong career off of this shit.
And others.
Her daughter.
Smith, this darling of the pro-choice forces, presented. In her personal treatise published last year, Norma McCorvey told the story of her somewhat sordid life. Then she still adamantly supported abortion. Now she adds that to the list of sins she took with her into the baptismal pool.
I've cheated people out of money. I've sold drugs. I was an abusive alcoholic for many years. I've done a lot against his teachings. But I think the far greater sin that I did was to be the plaintiff in Roe versus Wade.
So
Jane.
So that's her explaining.
Right.
That's her explaining about why she lied, trying to blame it on the drugs, blame it on the alcohol.
No, bitch, just because you were an anti-black racist. That's what you was, even though you was obviously swinging on a soul pole because you were pregnant by a black man in Florida. So you didn't mind swinging on a soul pole. Let's be very, very clear. He didn't rape your ass either.
And that's how they do. Y'all Negroes get confused about that. But we tell y'all over and over again, these white women will lay down with you. Get right up and practice white supremacy. Get right out that bed and go practice white supremacy. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Nellie Fuller, they've been teaching us that for years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all niggas still don't get it.
Today.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the stuff that we breaking down here, I definitely want to give a shout out to Tariq Nasheed. He did a thorough breakdown on this whole history on his broadcast like 3 years ago. And I think that was the time when Texas and Georgia banned abortion and stuff down here when he did his broadcast. But he did a great broadcast on his channel that y'all could go check out, to get further understanding of the history behind this whole Roe v. Wade case. I definitely want to always give credit to where it's due. Y'all know how we do here, man. We are the signal boosters of the new black media, of the true black media. And so we just doing our job here, spreading the message. We ain't making nothing up.
No. Now, can we also, with that being said, there was this outrage yesterday with that woman. I can't even think of her name, but she was at that rally with Trump and she thanked Trump, for a place.
You got the video?
Yeah, I do actually. Let me put it back there. But she thanked Trump, for placing those Supreme Court justices, on the bench, basically to save white lives. I personally did not find anything wrong with that because I'm like, you know, why would that be a bad thing for them to protect and preserve, what I'm saying, their lineage, their people. Like we should be on the same dang on thing. Why
Put the
would that
video in there.
be a bad thing? I'm sorry, let me put it in here.
And that SupremeCourt.gov link that you put in there, nothing opens up.
It didn't?
Nah, it says Supreme Court can't be found. Page can't be found.
They be hating on us because it's opening. Oh, here we go.
But yeah, a lot of people been coming right out, showing the true colors and what the real issue is going on here. Remember, we opened up the show with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing talking about the fear of genetic annihilation. And when it comes to this whole Roe v. Wade thing, the thing that we've been trying to get people to understand is that's what it's really about, right?
Totally.
And it's really about protecting white numbers. You know what I'm saying? They know that they're on their way to becoming a numerical minority in this country, and white women have abortions left and right.
I think their numbers are higher than ours, aren't they?
I have heard that.
Yeah.
I have heard that. I do see a lot of people saying that. I'm not sure what the actual numbers are, but one thing that I read, it says 60% of the abortions are white women. And those are just the ones that are reported on. Remember, they don't collect the data.
Right.
And a lot of white women of means who come from wealth, they have the ability to go to these private doctors and get these procedures done without nobody knowing nothing. You know what I mean? It ain't like they got to go to the abortion clinic, down the street. They got private doctors, that were visiting their homes, performing these procedures and all that, and ain't no records of that shit. So just the ones that we know about, you know what I'm saying? They're saying that white women make up 60% of them. And so this is about white men controlling white women's wombs.
Not ours.
To protect their numbers. That's what it's about. It ain't got shit to do with us, for real, for real. And that's why we opened up with Dr. Welsing. And I see a lot of people, Myson, and even Shaka Bars and others.
I'm just like
posting Jane Elliott's video.
Lord,
saying
that
something
right
profound,
there.
as if she's the master teacher and she's great.
I thought we were past that.
I'm like, man. I'm like, it wasn't good enough when Frances Cress Welsing said it. It wasn't good enough for Frances. She was saying this in 1969. You know what I'm saying? Jane Elliott is a Johnny come lately.
Old wrinkled bitch, because she's the truth and the light.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell.
And you got my son and this is the thing. These are the same people who's posting her are still trying to get us to support the liberals.
Right.
Still trying to get us to support the Democrats.
Yeah.
They're just trying to put it on the right wingers.
That pisses
me off. These evil white wingers, they're all about preserving white lives. This is racism.
What?
So let me see that video.
That is nuts.
Let me see that video.
How is it racist to want to preserve your people and build your nation?
Right. And this is the thing. Again, going back to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, I want y'all to watch that episode of the Donahue Show. Hold on. I want y'all to watch that episode of the Donahue Show because there's another portion in there where she says that somebody a white woman in the audience asked a great question. She was like, okay, let's say, your theory is true. Let's just say, everything that you're saying here is true. Okay, now what do you think should be done? Great question. I love that question. And that's the question that, we need to be asking when it comes to the white supremacists. And they say, oh, black people this, black people that, black on black crime, and they start talking about how bad our culture is, and instead of trying to debate them all the time, we need to just get to, okay, so if that all of that's true, what should be done?
What you suggest?
You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the doing part, as Nellie Fuller has told us, right? And so the white woman asked that question to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and the first part of what she said was, I forgot exactly what she said, but the first part of what she addressed what she think white people could do, but then she addressed black people and she said, now I don't expect white people to do this. And black people, I need y'all to get out of this thing where we're expecting white people to not protect their genetics. The purpose of racism, white supremacy is white genetic survival. Without the system in place, they will cease to exist. We have to get out of expecting them to not want to exist.
Right. We want to exist, so why wouldn't they?
Exactly. Right. So that don't mean that we cool with the system and that we want it in place. But once you have that's where it goes back to Nellie Fuller. Once you understand what it is and exactly how it works, you're not confused anymore, because now you're not expecting them to dismantle the system themselves. You're not expecting them to change the law and change their ways and change their mind and act like human beings, because you understand that this is about their survival. Ain't nobody gonna go against their own survival. And so that's what this woman is talking about in this clip.
It goes back to the first law of nature.
Right. That's all this statement right here is about.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
And black.
President Trump,
Play it again.
on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
And black.
That's what it was about for them, family.
Right.
But like we've said numerous times on this on Sincere Love the Godcast, a lot of times these right-wing policies indirectly benefit us.
Yes. Right.
A lot of times these right-wing policies work in our benefit.
Yes.
Not that that's their intentions, not that they give a damn about us, but there's a lot of things that we align with as far as values.
Right. Always have, historically.
She did what I like, overt racism. Forget all that covert liberal racism. I agree with you, Bad Seed. I agree with you 100%.
So I'm still on the fence about this being racism. What is racist about a group of people that want to preserve
it's racism
their lineage? We should be on the same thing. And I wouldn't find it racist for me to if Obama did the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you why it's racist. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna tell you why it's racist, because it's contingent upon suppressing and harming another group of people. Just wanting your group to survive is one thing, but if your group's survival is contingent upon keeping your foot on the neck of another people, that's racism. That's the reason why they created the system. The system is in place in order for them to survive. So that's what it is. It's racism. You know what I'm saying? And so long as we understand that, it's like, okay, like Bad Seed said, just be overt about it.
I love that, by the way.
I appreciate
that. I'm not scared of that at all. I learned from the new Black media. This is good.
Right.
This is a good thing. This is very, very good. And what's funny is a lot of people have been talking about this, just other, I guess, pundits, if you will. Let me pull it up. As far as Joe Biden, he had the ability to, overturn the filibuster or something like that, or he had multiple opportunities basically to stop this from happening, and he didn't, which lets me know basically that, just like in 1982, this is where he aligns with value as far as his values. He aligns with conservative values too. Let's be clear. This is why he didn't do anything
Absolutely.
about it. He could have also tried to stack the those seats as well and chose not to. So let's be very, very clear. Left wing, right wing, one bird. They all work hand in hand to keep their foot on our necks.
Absolutely. Nikki DeGar said Jane Elliott said we need to share our reparations with Native Americans. She can
And
kiss
Jane
my
Elliott can kiss
foundational
my
black ass.
The blackest part of my ass. That's the part she can kiss.
And Jackson Harlem, you need to tweet this. As a matter of fact, this need to be a tattoo or a t-shirt or something. Even love works against white genetic survival.
Man.
That's heavy.
Bars. Bars.
Even love works against white genetic survival. And that's deep on so many levels. Frances Cress Welsing said that, again, in that same Donahue show. You know, she gave the example. You know, if we all got along, if there was no racism and, you know, everybody was just cool and we all lived together, one big happy human family, white genetics would cease to exist on the planet. Nature would take its course. It's not a part of nature, so it would cease to exist. So love works against white genetic survival. Also, I was watching Brother Rich. He was interviewing, I forgot the brother's name that he was interviewing, but the brother was dropping some heavy bars. And it was a whole metaphysical conversation that they was having, and they was talking about the light codes, and they was talking about the sun. And Brother Rich asked him a question about the sun and love. And he said, no, they was talking about love being the most important nutritional ingredient. Love being the most important, more important than any other form of nutrition that the human body needs, whether it's protein or amino acids and all the stuff that we need. He was saying love is the most important ingredient. And so Brother Rich asked him to compare that to the sun. Would you say it's more important than the sun? And he said the sun is love. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking about how the sun gives life to the earth and everything. And, you know, it was heavy, right? But that goes along with Jackson's statement, because even the sun is against white genetic survival.
I'm just saying. So do you think that's why they're trying to mix with us? You know, because when you look at the children,
Yes.
what's her name, Meghan Markle and stuff like that, like she literally just gave birth to, you know, white babies. Like those children do not have or look, you know, one iota black. But, you know, is that why they're pushing this, you know, interracial marriage propaganda? Because all your commercials, billboards, everything has something to do with, you know, interracial marriages and stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of that, if you can find that clip from the NBA draft real quick.
Oh,
find that real quick while you're talking about that. But yes, absolutely, that's what this whole propaganda piece is about. And they also talked about that in that interview. I wish I could remember the brother's name. The name of it is Celestial Diet on Brother Rich's YouTube channel. The title of the interview that he did is called The Celestial Diet. If you have a chance, go check that out. Heavy metaphysical conversation. But yeah, that was one of the other questions that Rich asked him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was saying how we are the sun. You know, talking about even the word person means we are a percentage of the sun. Heavy shit. It was heavy shit that was taking place in that goddamn interview. Right. And so Rich was like, okay, so if we are sons, you know, how is it that, you know, the sun is basically an enemy to white people? You know what I'm saying? You know, it gives them cancer and all of this stuff. They can't take the UV rays from the sun and all of that, but they feast off of us. And, you know, he was talking about how they use us as a filter. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the full on sun. You know what I'm saying? They use us as the filter. So that goes along with the question that you just asked and what you're saying about why they're pushing this propaganda. Because I talked about this in a clip that I did before too, because I was doing a lyrical breakdown, and it's on my page somewhere on Instagram. It's called Genetic Annihilation, and I was breaking down some of my lyrics where I was talking about how for the white supremacists it's like a gift and a curse when it comes to melanin, right? Because on one side they would like to eliminate us from the planet, But if they eliminate us from the planet, they would also cease to exist.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? So they know the wise amongst them, they understand that complete genocide of black people is not practical because they actually need us. They actually need the melanin in order for them to survive. You know what I'm saying? That's what the organ harvesting is all about. That's what, you know, we talked about earlier with the experimentation that they're doing with these fetuses. They have these melanin conferences every year, you know what I mean, where all the Europeans get together and talk about all of the wonders of melanin and all of this shit. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to figure out, is there a way that they can harness the melanin where they can survive without us?
Then you can't. You can't. Give it up.
Yes, sir, Michael Wharton. Shout out to Michael Wharton. I didn't even know you was in the chat, brother. Peace to you, King. Love doesn't help me produce vitamin D4, and you can't buy it either. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that. You got a little bit too deep for me right there. Got a little bit too deep.
Real deep. Jackson be real deep with the science. You know, Jackson is all about that science, though. That's what I love about Jackson.
For sure. The science and the metaphysics.
Yes.
For sure. Did you drop something in the chat?
I did. It's there. The draft.
Let me get this out of here. Why is this popping up? Hold on. Why is that popping up? Hold on. Let me.
What you get popped up?
Hold on a second, y'all. Bear with me.
Yeah. So you have Proud Boys that are married to black women.
Sure do.
So they're trying to survive. They're trying to survive. Also, while hating on Negroes.
Negroes be confused about that shit. You know what I mean? Again, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she was talking about that back then. She was like, a lot of y'all think, what's his name? Andrew Jackson, Sally Hemings was his lover or something.
Right.
So y'all Negroes is confused. You know, they take both sides, literally. They will condemn something while participating in it at the same time. That's how this shit go. But yeah, speaking of what we were just talking about with the propaganda, is it on the screen?
Yeah, we can see.
I just opened up a whole nother page, didn't I?
I see a suit, that silver suit.
Yeah, but hold on. I gotta reshare it because it opened up another. What's the name? One second, fam. Jefferson, not Jackson. My bad. Thank you, Calvin.
And while he's doing that, you guys make sure you're liking, making sure you're sharing out this broadcast because, you know, we've been deep tonight. You know what I found interesting too, real quick, and I think I shared that in there. We can share it a little later, but this one pundit was talking about Roe versus Wade, and then threw some LGBT stuff in there. Like, what is that?
Oh my
goodness. I didn't get that. I was like, well, boy, what you talking about?
Yeah. I have no idea. Sometimes when the babble, it just sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. But yeah, why you think they pushing this, family?
Check this out.
Why you think they pushing this so heavy?
And is here tonight with his mother and father, Dyson Daniel.
Can y'all hear it?
And is here tonight.
No.
It's all the way up. I don't know. For some reason, it's low.
Well, just for context, that is an NBA
mute your mic,
draft. Huh?
Yeah, she was about to say these are some NBA draft picks this year that they chose to highlight.
With his mother and father, and is here tonight with his mother and father, Dyson Daniel. Voted the Big Ten Player of the Year and a consensus first team All-American. This Wisconsin guard is accompanied by his mother and father, Johnny Davis. Joined tonight by his father and mother, a standout forward born in France,
He played for the New Zealand Breakers of the NBL. Usman Jang.
Y'all see that? You see what they promoting in the NBA?
Yeah. So they trying to tell you. They trying to tell you, hey, you can get you an NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can get you an NFL player. You know, you can get you a pro athlete. You could be like LeVar Ball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They promoting that thing heavy.
And notice there were no black mothers with white fathers. Let's be very clear.
Right. So, you know, they basically what do you call it? Leeching. That's not the word I was looking for, but give me a better word, Jackson. What they doing? They leeching off of the energy of the black male in order to produce these athletes.
Right.
Each of those biracial sons represents white genetic annihilation, though, and that's a fact. That's why I said it's a gift and a curse for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift and a curse for them. You know what I mean? Last couple of years, they making it a point. What he said, they making it a point to show bed bucket.
Yeah.
That part. And yeah, since we're here, I was talking about this in the barbershop too, man. If you notice, if you look at the NBA now, and a lot of those fathers are non-FBA, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those black fathers are non-FBA. You know what I'm saying? So that was their green card.
Mm-hmm.
That was their green card to get over here, and they hit the lottery. But you know, the NBA is really struggling to find the new faces of the NBA. Who's going to carry the league? The new superstars. Who's going to be the next LeBron James? They don't have another LeBron James, another Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan type of figure to carry that energy. And it's a number of reasons for that. That's part of it. What we're seeing right there is a part of it. If you look at the NBA in the 80s and the 90s, you know, when it was really, really at its height of greatness, you know, nothing against my light-skinned brothers and sisters, but it wasn't a lot of light-skinned brothers and sisters dominating the league. It just wasn't. You know what I mean? And shout out to Steph Curry. That's my nigga. Right. Steph Curry is that dude.
And he does have two black parents, though. They just
and he's an exception. He's even though he got two black parents, he's still an exception to be high yellow. You know what I mean? Dominating in the NBA. That just wasn't a thing. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know what I'm saying? He was on the lighter side. Couple, you know what I mean? Couple players, you know, it was a little bit lighter, but high yellow niggas was not running the NBA back in the day. Right. No. That's never been a thing. And so now you see a lot of these high yellow niggas running around the NBA. Most of them are mixed.
Right.
Also, you have a lot of non-FBA niggas in the NBA now. They recruiting Africans, Europeans, people coming from overseas to play ball in the NBA, and they're deprioritizing finding homegrown talent.
Yep.
There's, you know what I'm saying? There's scientifically farming talent from overseas now. You know what I'm saying? And even within the States, there's a farming system, because when I was growing up, you just had to be dope at basketball. You could play for your high school team, get noticed by the top colleges, get drafted into the league that way. It was still, you know what I'm saying, a low percentage of people that would make it, but they was able to get talent directly out of black society, from the hoods, from the inner cities. You know what I'm saying? Your Allen Iversons and people like that who really came up. Now, a lot of times, those parents can't afford to pay for these AAU leagues, travel basketball teams. You know what I'm saying? This shit costs a lot of money. My son played ball, traveling around. This shit costs a lot of money to keep up with trainers and all of this stuff. And now those are the only people that get the looks. You ain't just nice and ball from your neighborhood, you play for your high school, and recruiters is coming to see you. The majority of the people that you see in the draft today, they already friends with the NBA players. They've been known by the scouts their whole life. You know what I'm saying? And so
Scottie Pippen and Pippen and Shaq's son just got drafted to the Lakers.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Shaq's
Seen something-
son,
I seen
Sharif.
something with Shaq's son, with him and
Yeah,
Shaq.
Sharif just got drafted with the Lakers, and so did Scottie Pippen's son. Both of them. So they're pulling these kids from these athletes. You have LeBron's son who's balling,
Right.
in high school right now, about to go to college. They're gonna pull him next. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So this is what they're doing now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so there's a thing that's missing. There's an intangible thing that's missing that gives certain players star power. And it's when you come from nothing and you
Mhm.
have a certain amount of hunger, and plus you got a certain type of swag that's just automatically there when you come from the
Mhm.
real black community, when you grow up
Right.
in real black society. Not saying everybody got to be from the hood and projects and all of that, but just growing up around black people for real, coming from black society for real, there's a certain swag that comes with that. And
Mhm.
as we know, that culture, that swag is the most consumed swag on the planet. It sells the most products out of everything. And so that's why the NBA is struggling to find new superstars that they could depend on to carry the league into the future. They're struggling for that. They're trying to push Giannis Antetokounmpo. Can't nobody even pronounce the man's name. He got a heavy ass accent. It ain't working.
And like
It ain't working.
Bad C said, the league got the league contracts, the those G League contracts and stuff like that, where they can
Okay.
give those contracts less money. They don't want to give black people, especially from the hood, coming from nothing, money. They don't want to see us financially astute either. So
Right.
that's why that G League bullshit came about to begin with.
Well,
They
no.
can offer them lower money.
Well, no, the G League is like the new one of the new entryways into the league. That's part of the farming system. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
for less money though. It's still about money.
But they're getting drafted into the league from there. A lot of people that got drafted this year came out of the G League,
G League.
right? And so the G League is not the destination. That's just part of the route, the funnel, the vetting system that they're using, to your point. Because again, they don't want to get people who straight out the hood, straight out of foundational Black American society, who have this legitimate gripe with the United States of America to get all of this money, to get these platforms, who's going to be speaking up and speaking out against shit. They don't want that. So they rather get somebody from a war-torn country who's just grateful to be here, to be able to get their family out of whatever conditions that they coming from in over in Africa and wherever they came from. You know what I'm saying? No diss to them. I'm talking about the strategy of the white supremacists. They know that these people ain't gonna buck. They just happy to be here. They just happy for the opportunity to play and make all this money, and they don't got no beef. They don't relate when they see kids getting shot down by the police. That's not them. That nigga ain't from my village. He's not part of my tribe. You know what I'm saying? So they don't relate to that. They don't feel that. You know what I'm saying? America doesn't owe them anything. You know what I'm saying? But the more of us that they start recruiting, especially now with the way the consciousness is, they're like, oh no, we can't keep drafting these niggas into the league and paying them all these big contracts
and giving them money.
Right. Right. Because they don't even like LeBron, and LeBron is not even strong with it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The LeBron speak up here and there about certain things. They don't even like that. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving, you know what I'm saying? People like that, they like, nah, we get too many of these niggas. Right. Kyrie talking about we need to start our own league and all of that. You know what I mean? Don't take the jab and all of that. They like, nah, we can't keep
he in the game again. No jab. He in the game.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, man, because I've been noticing that heavy. Biracials aren't going to produce a Kobe or an MJ. I mean, that's facts.
No, the gene pool is diluted.
Melanin concentration is important to mental cognition and development. It's facts. This is science, man. When you see these athletes doing these incredible things on the field and on the court, you know, we kind of look at it as just being like a physical thing, but there's a mental aspect to that genius. That's genius that you're seeing taking place. Just knowing how many steps you got to take and where you got to turn and the velocity that you need to step off of to make that jump and do that crossover. That shit is quick mental calculations that's taking place in the mind first. Before the body does it, it has to take place in the mind first. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like you said, that melanin is very important to all of that. Melanin is very important to all of that. Peace, King Black News. Hit that like button, family. Hit that like button. Share this out on your social media platforms, and subscribe to the channel. And click the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new content. This is Sincere Love the Godcast. We do this every Sunday. Time been all over the place last couple of weeks. Time been all over the place. But usually it's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And so just make sure that y'all following me at Sincere Love the God and Nice the Girl with the #1 on IG, but without the #1 on all other platforms, so that you could be in tune with whenever we will be going live, because we do be all over the place with the time lately. It be like that sometimes.
Work with us.
It be like that sometimes.
We appreciate y'all though, Top of being so loyal to us. So appreciate y'all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hey, can we play that video of our elder who was talking about the Black community doesn't want abortion? This was some time ago.
Yeah, I had that up
to the mindset, not just of us today, but this has been something that, Black people for years have been talking about.
Yeah, where is that? I had
a little bit. It's only a few. It's not too far up in the materials.
Okay, let me go over here.
And if you want to, I can send it again just real quick.
Let me go over here. Yes, indeed. And I also want to pull up those letters from Margaret Sanger, because we did mention that the origins of abortion in America started with those anti-Black eugenist people. Margaret Sanger being like the head of it all.
I'm about to send this to you.
With her evil self. So I do want to talk about that letter, but let me find that video that you're talking about.
I just put it back in, so go back to the bottom.
Okay, bet. I can't blow this one up. All right, here we go, family. I can't make this one bigger, but y'all can hear it.
From the Society of America, more 78% of your free abortion clinics were placed in Black and urban areas for the purpose of something free of charge from a racist society. As to put it in words of one pro-abortionist, we don't need so many Negroes anymore. There's no more cotton to pick. Feelings about Black people, this was one way of doing it as a social benefit, if you will. We're here to help you. Black women, and let it be stated, Black women never demonstrated, demanded, or even requested the right to an abortion. We've been asking for the right to decent housing, the right to education, in fact, the right to health care. And all we've been given free of charge is the right to kill our unborn child. We are still struggling for equally. All of a sudden, we were given this free thing from the Society of America, abortion. 78% of your free abortion clinics were placed in Black and urban areas for the purpose of something free of charge from a racist society. As to put it in words of one pro-abortionist, we don't need so many Negroes anymore. There's no more cotton to pick. These feelings about Black people, this was one way of doing it as a social benefit, if you will. We're here to help you. Black women, and let it be stated, Black women never demonstrated, demanded, or even requested the right to an abortion. We've been asking for the right to decent housing, the right to education, in fact, the right to health care. And all we've been given free of charge is the right to kill our unborn child. We are still struggling for equally.
So again, family,
I'm just saying.
This shit biblical, man.
We've never asked
for those of y'all who are good Christians. This shit is biblical.
I was gonna bring them Christians up.
Go ahead.
Warnock. Honestly, hell, Bishop Talbert. He over here, caping for Roe versus Wade. Like I feel
Is
like
he?
that's yes. I feel like that's a contradiction of your religion. But obviously, he's a member of the NAACP, in his area. So maybe his religion is one thing, his political views is another. But I just feel like that is a bold-faced contradiction,
I agree.
of your faith. You can call yourself a Christian man and promoting this bullshit to your community. Mm-mm.
Mm. And that's interesting because Stacey Abrams, um, I guess she used to be against abortion based off of her religious upbringing, but
Didn't know
now
this
she's changed
thing.
her stance, saying that she understands the religious aspect of it, but we shouldn't mix that
It's different.
ideology with politics and people's rights to choose or whatever, something like that. She switched up.
Because them biscuits was fresh out the oven and they
That's
added
all it
some
was.
honey on it. They added some honey and butter on them. That's
Right.
what it
That's
was.
that's that's all it really was. That's all
Right.
it really was. But I'm just juxtaposing that to what you're saying about Talbot Swan because he's kind of separating the religion and the politics too.
Can't do it.
It-
You can't have it both ways.
How can you
Everybody,
reconcile that? How can you
you can't.
reconcile that?
It's just hypocrisy, period. And we have to call a spade a spade. It's hypocrisy. You just cannot have it both in ways. I don't care. And what are you scared of? Why can't you be a Christian and, align politically with some things and the things that you just don't that goes against your religion? It just goes against my religion. I'm not going to fold on that. Why do we always fold and cave in? And then again, these are things that they feed to our community. So that's why you have black people who are the most religious people in the world, right? Thinking abortion is okay. God gonna forgive me. The Lord understands. I asked Jesus for forgiveness. So now let me walk up in this clinic.
All right, let me ask the chat. Would anybody like to hop on and give us their thoughts on the subject that we're talking about tonight? If so, I will drop the link inside the chat and you could click on it. Jackson, if you would, I would like you to come add on if you would be so kind. Just give us a few words.
And can I just say this? Another person, I mean, this person isn't a religious figure, but she getting on my mother nerves. And that's Nina Turner. All of a sudden she wants to sort of talk black. Now all I'm seeing on her timeline is reparations. So let's be very clear, these left wingers are going to try to hijack the reparations hashtag and talk about it without any real push for it in real time. But her little tangled eyed ass is really getting on my nerves with her fake shit. She fake as hell to me.
I haven't been seeing much. I seen one or two things.
Like she just tweeted right now, an hour ago. The enslavement of black people did not end in this country by voting harder. Bitch, you've been pushing it on us by saying vote left. At that, and she's been talking about reparations, like going hard, talking about
Mhm.
reparations and stuff like that. Like it's too little, too late for you, bitch, because you weren't talking about it.
So let me just be a God's advocate for a minute here.
No,
Uh,
no,
uh, I don't even know how to pose the question. Uh, is it? Yeah, no, no,
no. This is just a hard no.
no,
Hard no.
no. But I was going to say, like, can people change? Can
No.
people get on board?
No. No. I think that they understand that the conversation has changed and black people want tangibles. And if they can secure themselves a job at $200,000 a year, pretending that they're pushing policy for black people, while all lives mattering everything when it comes to policy, that's exactly what they're going to do because that's what she shown when she was running for her seat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You could have gotten more people behind you if you had run on a hardcore, black agenda. You did not do that. You called yourself progressive and wanted to all lives matter, and now you lost. And the very people that you advocated for did not advocate the same way for you. AOC waited till literally what the day of or the day before her election, to show her support of her. And you were going hard in the paint for her ass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, no. So I'm very weary of people.
She's always been on the fence to me.
Yes.
Nina Turner, she's always been on the fence, talking good 1 minute, and then, like you said, all lives mattering it up.
Oh, she's reparations
and
and
intersectionality.
Right, yeah, she's black right now. She's been black for, I'll say, a week. She's been black for about a week, y'all.
There's a few of them that be trying that bullshit. A lot of them is very, very sloppy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Bakari Sellers, people like that. You know what I'm saying? They be trying it. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. We see what it is. Nobody wants to click the link. We about to get out of here. Y'all don't want to talk to us.
Let me read two more from her. She also said, and arguably, it hasn't ended. There is still an $11 billion prison labor industry that politicians on both sides of the state uphold. Voting matters, but it isn't the only thing that we can do, and it surely isn't what politicians who have power should be advocating for when they can take direct action. Reparations, girl. Reparations.
Absolutely.
Policies.
Absolutely. But see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, though. Like that statement right there, have no problem with it. Have no problem with it. Now, I understand what you're saying about her. But can we, these people have platforms. You know what I mean? They have a certain reach that we might not have. You know what I'm saying? Should we signal boost when the message is right?
When the message is right, but they got to be Marcel. Ain't no what.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about getting behind her, campaigning for her, donating to her campaign, and all that. I'm just saying when certain statements are made, even if we see that they trying to play both sides or whatever, can we play chess with it? Can we play chess with it and use their words almost against the establishment? Not really against them. We're not against these individuals. These are pawns and puppets, but use their words to combat the strategies of the establishment.
Absolutely. I think so. I think so. I'm still very guarded, I guess, about letting them all the way in, because we also know that they have these think tanks. They use people like them for these think tanks. And unfortunately, everybody does not have the mental capacity that we do when it comes to white supremacy, anti-Black racism, and how they use politics, against us as well. And these people are great talkers. Great talkers. I don't trust the bitch. I'm sorry. I don't trust her. Oh.
Calvin, I seen you was backstage for a second. I was going to let you get on the mic and say what you got to say. I was actually going to let Calvin go first. Jackson, I see you back here. Let me bring Jackson on the stage. Shout out to the moderator, Jackson Harlem, in the digital building. What's going on, Jackson?
Good evening to the family. Good evening, Nice, Peace, Sincere. How are you all doing?
Peace. Doing great, man.
Love you.
So I was just ranting on Twitter with the congressman. The Congressman Dixon had a space talking about immigration, more specifically, like many immigrants are not our allies. I took the opportunity to push him for president, since New Black Media has vetted him, because a lot of these issues like immigration, we feel like we need our borders protected. Well, our race feels differently than other races do about.
I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear you that good.
I can.
Is it just me? Let us know in the chat.
Apologize.
Let us know in the chat if he's loud and clear, family. Go ahead,
You
Jack.
think I sound all right?
Go ahead, Jack.
I was suggesting because it seems like in the media there's a new topic every week that we, the indigenous people, are having to fight for. You know what I'm saying? Now, if this is our country and we built the country, it's not fair that we fight for everything, because we're only fighting foreigners. We're not even fighting each other to get these things done. We're fighting other groups that immigrated here with Bibles and smallpox. They still got the Bibles. They still bring in smallpox. So I decided to read in this Twitter space a moment ago with Congressman Dixon, my push for him being president. We've already vetted him in New Black Media. We trust him. We understand his talking points. We know how he feels about even other groups. So I said, whenever any form of government becomes destructive to the ends of securing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and institute a new government. Now, I don't know how difficult that is, but we created the government before colonization. We recreated it. We are still instrumental to the economy here. We have one of the largest Black economies on the planet, if not the largest. I think it's worth considering, because today it's abortion, yesterday it was immigration, the day before that it was gun laws. We asked the government to cut the check and they cut it for everybody else. These people are sending that money already home. They're sending it back home to where they come from to enrich their economies over there. And they're also going to use that money to weaponize politicians and other resources against us here. So we can't keep asking. I don't think it's the most intelligent, most progressive thing to do is to keep asking another race to look out for our race because we let this race take over the government. Even people not racist, they have to consider that we're asking another group who is concerned about their survival on the entire planet to bust us down some of what we're deserved. Now, we built the White House. We built it on our land, but it was another race, that same race that's running the government, that was hopping over the wall. And if we're not going to do anything that is extreme or violent, I don't suggest any of that. It would definitely help to. We're the only group who can alter or abolish. Everybody's talking about all the rights and stuff. I got the right to this. I got the right to that. All the rights, benefits, privileges, and resources anybody is talking about over here came through the government that we set up, that we let another race take over. We have to think of it like that.
Right.
We got to be Black first, and then we got to be FBA first. We have to be freedmen first. We can't keep asking these people. We know that they're holding the money hostage. We are the stocks and bonds. And isn't it weird that the stocks and bonds are asking for their money?
We are the money.
We are
the
first money.
And the acreage.
Absolutely.
So I know it might sound extreme. A lot of people gave me claps and some laughing emojis in the space, but it's serious. I worked on Capitol Hill. I'm not impressed by those people.
Right.
They're not any more intelligent than the people we bump into on the way to get our haircut. We wrote the Constitution, but this new group, when they formed it, because we wrote it in the form of a wampum belt, WAMPUM. It is how indigenous people recorded our history and our government. Now, where that is probably locked up in some Mormon church, as I always like to mention, or locked up in the Smithsonian. These other groups are asking for reparations. They're also asking for their stuff.
And they're getting it.
You know, all of the artifacts that prove who these people are. We don't have it. We don't have it. That kind of stuff should go in Tariq's museum. This is the stuff that we need to prove who we are, how long we have been here. People say you don't have any culture. A lot of our culture is in the museum. And because people haven't done their genealogy, we don't know that, hey, this stuff is ours. We need it back. We need it back. It's serious. I think we should consider even making moves to start our own government. We already have at least one person to be in that government. I said on June 15th, I tweeted, Marcel should be president if we don't get this seat in the Congress, because other groups already got whole groups in Congress and they get money for that. If this is our country, I think the most intelligent move to make in peace is to start our own government. These white people came over here and did it, and they got Mauritania to recognize their government. That's the only reason that they're legitimized. All we have to do is to start it and get somebody to recognize it. Now, sure, we're going to need a military. We're going to need other resources, but it's an intelligent move to make instead of just constantly asking this race that has been holding us hostage for 467 years, terrorizing us, spreading their religion, spreading what they think about their wounds, what they think about other immigrants. Everybody here is an immigrant but us.
Right.
This is not a nation of immigrants. It's a nation of immigrants oppressing the original people. So I think that we have to consider that. We have to consider that, I think. Starting our own government. It's in our Constitution. We're the only people that can alter, abolish, or institute a new one. It's right there after life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. This is another one of our rights. If you can get a gun, you can start a government. A government is a corporation. The Godcast could start a corporation and just constantly get people in it.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, Jackson Harlem. Appreciate you adding on, brother.
I appreciate the Godcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Y'all hit that thumbs up. I need to see everybody in the chat. And y'all know I see y'all. I need to see everybody in the chat posting this on your Twitter like Nikki did, like Sincere did, like Nicely did. This is a family affair, y'all.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Yes, family, hit that like button and share out the broadcast. All right, this my brother Calvin right here. Let's hear what you got to say on the subject, brother. Unmute your mic. Unmute your microphone so we can hear you. You see the microphone? You see the microphone icon? You hit the wrong button.
I won. Come back.
Come back in. Come back in. This one of them old heads. This one of them old heads. You know.
Okay.
His daughter got him an iPhone. He don't know what he doing. He don't know what he doing. He over there with his glasses. He like, now how you work this thing? How you work this thing? Hitting all type of wrong buttons. Come on back up in here. Somebody else was trying to get in too.
There you go.
Somebody else was popping in and out backstage too. All right, here you go. What's up, Calvin? What's going on, Calvin?
Can you hear us?
Lord.
Calvin, you there? Knock.
What y'all laughing at? What y'all laughing at in the chat?
Did you call him an old head?
Oh, yeah.
Calvin, where you at?
The mic is not muted. The mic is not muted. I don't know why we're not hearing anything right now. I don't know what's going on with you, Cal. Let me see. Okay, you got two different devices going on, looks like. Go ahead. Unmute this mic now. Unmute now, say something.
Am I on?
There you go.
There you go.
Good evening, brothers and sisters.
What's up, man?
Listen, you guys started the show off right on point.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Would you like to add to it?
What you got to say about the subject? What happened? We don't hear you no more. We don't hear you no more, man. The mic is not muted. I don't know what happened to the sound. I don't know what happened to the sound. Give our brother a minute to get it together. But yeah, Jackson, a lot of what you said, I could rock with, man. I don't have a problem with the word extreme either. I wouldn't even take the word extreme out of it. You know, violence might not, you know, be something that we want to advocate at the moment. I don't think that's practical. But whatever we need to do is definitely going to have to be extreme based on what we've been doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to be extreme on our part. It's going to have to be extreme discipline. It's going to have to be extreme words, actions, thought, and speech. It's going to have to be extreme. We're going to have to be unapologetic. Huh?
And cohesive.
Right.
Cohesiveness within our group. You know, cohesiveness within the foundational Black community. We got to be on one accord.
Right. The mic is muted, Calvin. The mic is muted. Try it again. Try it again. Yes, extreme discipline. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody else was trying to get in too. I seen another person was popping in and out the chat. Y'all want me to drop the link again?
And while we're doing that, y'all notice you have the likes of Chase, you have Starbucks, other entities saying that if their employees are in a state that does not do the abortion, then they'll pay for them basically to jump to another state, and get the abortion. First of all, Chase, you owe us reparations.
Right. Chase, Netflix,
And I'm just
JP
saying.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
It's a gang of them.
Y'all need to cut some checks. Like, what are you talking about abortion? And even with that being said, why aren't you supporting as employers, family, right? Maternity leave.
Yeah,
Invest
pay
in that.
raise.
Y'all don't want to pay for maternity leave. Y'all don't. Those are the things you don't want to do. But I will definitely fund you to get rid of your kid.
Right. Yeah, we gonna help you get rid of that kid so you can bring your ass back to work.
So I can get rich. The hell. And I feel like employees should be offended by that.
Oh man. All right, so I don't know what happened with our brother. He didn't get his phone together. He didn't get his mic together. But I don't know. We'll try this again next week.
Yep.
We'll try this again next week. We might be back on later on this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't forget, you guys, we are bringing back season 2 of the Sincere Love to God Black Business Showcase. If you are an entrepreneur, Black business, small or large, make sure that you are reaching out to Sincere or myself so we can get you scheduled. We're still, in the background of planning the dates, the launch date, but of course we need, entrepreneurs and Black businesses to tap in with us so that we can get you on the schedule and we can relaunch season 2 of the Black Business Showcase. Again, you can reach me at Nicey Girl #1 on Instagram and Nicey Girl without the one on all other social media platforms. Make sure all Black businesses reach out. We want to get you on. We want to talk to you. We want to talk about entrepreneurship. We want to support your business. We want others to support your business. So make sure you're tapping in with us.
Yes, indeed. And make sure you are following me as well. I'm at Sincere Love to God on all social media platforms. And you can also catch me on your favorite music streaming platform, DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love to God. The Spear and the Shield is the latest project that we dropped on y'all. And right now, currently streaming is the new single, Plandemic. New music is definitely on the way. We're working on the master's table right now. We're working on some visuals and some other ideas. Probably gonna be doing some shows before the summer is over and all of that too. So yeah, stay in tune with me and the family so you can know everything that we got going on. If you wanna check out the merch, go to what the hell is the website? Is it Octom.com?
Go to the link in your bios.
Yeah, click the link in my bio on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or you could go to SincereluvdaGod.com and everything will pop up there as well. The music, the merch, whatever. SincereluvdaGod.com and everything that you need will be right there. Also, if you guys if you guys value and appreciate the content that we give you right here on the Godcast, you can support us via Cash App, $ Sincere Love #7, and $ NYCTEEGUR. We would definitely appreciate that. Anything else, Nicey?
No, just of course making sure you guys are following us, our content on social media. We try to keep Black people engaged with issues pertaining to the Black community, not just here, but also on social media. You're not going to get what we give to you guys on CNN and all those other folks. So we're going to give you the real Black news, right? Make sure that you're also still supporting and following our brother Marcel Dixon, because we're going to get him to the promised land, wherever that is, wherever direction he decides to go the next run.
And he does have some protests going on right now, right?
He's doing a recount right now because of the janky shit that was going on with those voting machines, which is, they're known to do. His name, on ballots, not on ballots, and ballots. So again, it's not about him necessarily, this change in the election, meaning he won, but we want the real numbers at the same time too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to say a lot, about what we as the Black grassroots were able to do in that short period of time as far as galvanizing Black support.
Right. And the fact that they had to even mess with the numbers, what I mean, is a statement within itself. Let's try it again, Calvin, man. We're gonna give you one more shot before we get out of here. Unmute your microphone, OG.
I'm back.
There you go.
Hey.
I switched from my my phone to my laptop.
All right, that's much better. You probably know how to work. The laptop's been around a little longer than the phone, so you probably know how to work.
I ain't that old that I don't know how to work an iPhone. But you start off the show, and I think anytime you talk about the Western Hemisphere, as soon as they broke us away from our motherland, the first thing they did was they broke into our class income, the economics of the family. If you study the continent of Africa, there were kings and queens and princesses long before there was established societies, particularly in the Western Hemisphere. And so if you were to look at the diaspora for the Western Hemisphere, not just the North America, but the entire part of it, you'll notice that instead of incorporating those people that they enslaved, right, they separated them. They never tried to mainline them into the economics of that country. I don't care where you go in the Western Hemisphere, South America, Central America, North America, Canada, we were never incorporated, ever. As soon as they had to go into abeyance to try to get us equal, they set up things that made us unequal. Separation, right? Breaking the family. Can you imagine the United States government allowed the Black male to be absent from the family as a part of the law of the country? Welfare. A man could not be in the home, 60s, 70s, up until the 90s. Think about that. So now let's fast forward that to today. Can you imagine you talked about two people in the household?
What's happening here? This has to be a troll or something. That has to be a troll or something. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Calvin.
Can you imagine the two trying to make a household work with one income right now?
Right.
Listen, I came across, I had the state of Maryland, in particular, I had Baltimore one year, a set of years, back in the early 2000s. And
now, when you say you had the state, you got to, I know you, but you got to give the people the background.
I'm sorry, I was working for Department of Commerce, U.S. Department of Commerce, Economic Development Administration.
There you go.
So I had Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, and then I had this planning program with the city of Baltimore. And I had to come and talk to their governing bodies and this one committee. Anyway, come to find out, there's this organization that the city gets its information from that was linked to other organizations. And it was this one organization that I read their website where they came up with, now think of this, a man, designed a way to get to evaluate 8th grade reading levels to produce the number of jail cells to be built.
Oh, yeah.
Literally. And I'm sitting there going, if you can think about how you can jail us, what else could you be thinking about?
The repair,
right, constructively.
Reparations.
Constructively, absolutely. And we had a guest on the show, our brother Raheem Shabazz. He has a documentary series called Elementary Genocide, a 3-part documentary series where he breaks all of that stuff down about the school to prison pipeline and how they scientifically implemented that, exactly what you're talking about.
So every time we reestablish ourselves, and that was the most incredible story about the enslaved American. When they brought us over, and then we get to the early 1900s, not only did the country become one of the wealthiest. So there's a book by Richard Florida, 5,000 Year Leap. It talks about the establishment in the United States. By 1916, the United States, 1920, United States was 1/16 of the world's population, but became the number one country from its founding. So within 200 years, it was number one economically, right? Guess what? What was the basis of that economy? Cotton.
Right.
And so
and foundational Black Americans.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, so what happens around the 20s? Tulsa, Georgetown, Baltimore, all this displacement started to take place. What was the displacement? A detachment from the economy, period.
Yep.
We're going to kill you, burn your economies down. We're going to segregate you. We're going to let all these things happen to you, even though you're supposed to be an equal citizen as the white man or any other person for that matter.
Right. So yes, you're absolutely right. We're the only group that has been sabotaged over and over again, and we've been making a way out of no way, starting from scratch each and every time. And so now we find ourselves back in that same predicament where we have to make a way out of no way and build something up from scratch. Understanding that the onus is going to be on us. Like Jackson was saying when he came on earlier, we cannot leave it up to these people to do the right thing. We have to strategize within ourselves and build our world. You know what I'm saying? We have to build a world that is conducive to our empowerment. And that it really starts with a lot of the stuff that we're doing as far as getting the culture in order, getting the mindset in order, producing the next generation of people where that's not a foreign concept to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we on the right track in a lot of ways, and from a mental and psychological standpoint, I think we're on the right track. But we're definitely going to need those tangibles in order for us to really take the leap that we need. In order for us to be competitive, with the rest of society, with all these other groups, we have to be repaired economically. And so we're not gonna stop pressuring this government to give us what we're owed. We're gonna have to get what we're owed. Oh, Mama Love, you made it. Shout out to Mama Love in the building. Yeah, we've been on here for a while. She done flew all the way back to New York since we've been on here.
And straight to the GodCast. Appreciate you, Mama.
Yes, indeed. All right, so Calvin, man, I appreciate you, man. I'll see you in about a week or so.
Indeed.
All right, man. Peace.
Calvin, thank you.
Much love, y'all.
Peace.
Oh man, good show tonight. Good talk.
Good show. We're like 2.5 hours in.
Right. We've been on here for a minute, and y'all didn't leave us to go
anywhere else.
Go anywhere else.
I feel the love.
Who you talking to? Oh, you talking.
But Seven, look, where's the ice cream? Seven, they forgot about that ice cream.
Yeah, she said you're still looking for your ice cream.
Yes. Yes.
I'm about to get off here right now, man. You want to say something?
You want his ice cream, nigga.
All right, family. Peace and black love to everybody, man. Again, another great episode of Sincere Love the GodCast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate all the moderators helping out with the links in the chat and sharing this out and doing everything that y'all do. Being a part of the GodCast, definitely appreciate that. I don't know. I think that's it. That's it.
Let me try to do it because I think I know it word for word. We are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media.
Peace and black love.
Grace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlook it for they weird science.
DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment with hot tracks like God Mine, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubians.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm a law in the person of sincere of the God. That mean your arms too short like Carl Anthony Shaw.
God painted me black.
God painted me black. Thanks for that. I'm a original man.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
I say to the ancestors. Dear Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God Today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or this gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, Black family. This is a much needed project. This is the spear and the shield.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscience.